Hey, everybody. Alan and Zach coming at you tonight. Hot Topic Tuesday here at League of Leaders. We wanted to change it up a little bit and talk about some different personalities that are big personalities in sports. Baseball has one well-known personality that's out there, and that would be that of Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer's got a YouTube channel that he has out there. He's got a couple different podcasts that he has as well, where he shares some of his knowledge of the game of baseball. He talks a little bit in one podcast about some of his pitching matchups when he starts, and some of the scouting reports he has after he goes up against certain teams and certain players. And then he also talks about some different things going on in the sports world and in the baseball world. So with that being said, Zach, what do you think about Trevor Bauer's podcast that he has going on right now on his YouTube channel overall?
Well, I think at first Trevor Bauer is a hard guy to like, but you watch a couple episodes, and it's awesome to see the different perspectives of him and his guests. And I think it's great for Major League Baseball. I think what he's doing for the game is awesome. I think it gives a whole new point of view. I think MLB should be capitalizing on it, and I think it's just a great perspective for fans. I think it's a great perspective for even those in media. And I think we're going to see more personalities come out in the next couple of years when it comes to professional sports and podcasting and telling their stories, because there's some great storytellers. I think of Sean Casey, the mayor, who's always been a great guest on radio talk shows, sports talk shows. Pat McAfee with his show. Their stories and the way they tell stories and their perspectives are so unique. And if you have not tuned in to a Trevor Bauer podcast or YouTube video, I highly recommend it. Entertaining, and you might learn a thing or two. What do you think, Al? I know you watched a few episodes. What do you think of Trevor Bauer and his episodes? Anything you liked in particular?
Yeah, you know what? I've seen a couple of his episodes. Obviously, some of his stuff that he's shared on YouTube and through his channels. I like what he has to say. I think his one podcast where he talks about his game plan and how he focused on a certain team that he just went up against. When he talks about those instances in a game and his scouting reports, I think it's maybe hard for the general fan to kind of grasp and tune into. But your diehard baseball lovers, I think, absolutely love that angle that he shares. I think his other podcast, some of his most recent stuff he's talked about, he brought up not too long ago. He had a start here in Detroit about 2 weeks ago. He was supposed to start on a Friday, I believe it was. Thursday, the game was originally scheduled for 5 o'clock. There was some rain in the forecast. They bumped it up to 1 o'clock. He got to the ballpark about 2 hours beforehand, like he normally does, got situated with his routine about an hour and 40 minutes before, went through all of his prep work and everything, and 1:02 rolls around. They got word from upstairs that everything's still scheduled for 1:10 start, and then within 45 seconds after that, he says they start pulling the tarp out. So he got pretty upset about that because it ruins your routine. He had already thrown close to 40 pitches to get ready to roll, but he did end up starting the next day. He said he wasn't at his full potential, at his best, but he still pitched well enough for his club to win. But he shares stories like that, which I find unique and interesting, and I loved. He just talked the other week about he had some cleats that he ordered for free Joe Kelly, because Joe Kelly, obviously, as we know, got suspended a couple weeks back for being a Dodger pitcher that threw at some Astros hitters. But he got those cleats. They got a ton of publicity, ton of views. And then Major League Baseball, he talked about them contacting the Reds right away, telling him he couldn't wear them and he would be suspended and fined heavily if he did so. So I don't know. I like the stuff that he shares. I find it interesting. I love his personality in baseball. I absolutely love it. He's a competitor. He works hard, you can tell, and he shares those stories with his fans and with the people out there, which I find real interesting.
Yeah, and I think he's a favorite of the players too. I think he supports players. Maybe maybe not the Astros, but most players he supports. So I think what he's doing for the game is great. I love the radio show, the podcast, and the YouTube videos. I'm looking forward to that evolving, and I hope that it gets young fans engaged in Major League Baseball. I think it's just another way that young people can get involved with the game, because as you know, Major League Baseball, the fans are older. We need to get some young people enjoying the game again. I know you got a little one. You guys enjoy watching games together. So I think Trevor Bauer and, the Pat McAfees even, I think they get young people in the sports because of the behind the scenes perspective they give. So really like what Trevor's doing. Looking forward to keeping up with what he's doing. And
Yeah,
we'll see.
it's you brought up the getting the young players or the young kids involved in the game and interested in the game. I think when you have a strong personality like Trevor Bauer, and he has a show like that, I think that will definitely capture those young kids back into the game. Hopefully it does. So,
but MLB needs to partner with him or something to capitalize on it.
I agree.
They need to take advantage of that exposure. And not fight them on it. Maybe the Joe Kelly cleats were over the top, but they got to let the kids play, right?
Right. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you haven't had a chance, definitely tune into Trevor Bauer's show. He's got a YouTube station, like we mentioned. He shares a couple different podcasts, but it's all unique and interesting stuff. And the baseball fan, the baseball lover, I think is going to find it very, very interesting. But that's about all that we have for you tonight. We hope you enjoyed our little chat about personalities in sports and our talk about Trevor Bauer. So we look forward to talking with you and all next week.